a tweet that has now come in from the Assam Chief Minister, Himanta Biswa Sarma, who in fact has now gone on to tweet that members of the public are requested to send us their suggestions on the proposed law to ban polygamy in the state of Assam. And I'm just going to read out from that tweet that in fact has been put out by the Assam Chief Minister, who in fact has gone on to say the government of Assam constituted an expert committee to study the legislative compliance of the assembly to enact a law banning polygamy in the state. The expert committee then submitted its report to the Honorable Chief Minister, recommending the state legislature is competent to enact a law to ban polygamy. The executive summary of the expert committee report has also been put out in the tweet by the Assam Chief Minister. Our colleague Preeti is in fact now joining us on the broadcast. Preeti, first help us understand the points and the big takeaways that have been put out by the Assam Chief Minister, and then we'll talk about the political reactions coming in as well.
Yes, earlier there was a question if the state is it can enact laws to ban polygamy, but it has been stated in this order itself, in the report itself, that the state can actually enact laws because as it falls on the concurrent list, we can see that the subjects like marriage falls in the concurrent list. So when there is a clash between the rules in the state, when it comes to the...
We can hear you, Preeti. Go ahead. Okay, we'll try and re-establish that connection with our colleague Preeti, but that's a big story that we continue to track, which, as I pointed out, is this tweet, which in fact now has been put out by the Assam Chief Minister, who's in fact gone on to ask from the public, the citizens, who's saying, why don't you send us your suggestions as far as the proposed law to ban polygamy in the state of Assam is concerned. So the Chief Minister going forward asking opinions and suggestions from the common man and the citizens of the country. We'll try and re-establish a connection with our colleague Preeti to try and get more details, to try and also understand if there are any other political reactions that are now coming in. But that's the big story that we continue to track, which is the Assam Chief Minister, as I pointed out, asking suggestions on the proposed law as far as polygamy is concerned. In the past, we've already seen a political war of words. But before I get to that, I believe our colleague Preeti is now back with us. Preeti, please go ahead.
Yes, in the statement itself, it has been stated that the subject like marriage falls under the concurrent list, which actually enables that the state can implement laws on marriage or basically on a subject like polygamy when it is contradicting the rules of the state and the nation. And it has also been stated that as in Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution, the freedom of conscience and the right to practice religion, it has been stated. However, it is not absolute. When there is a contradiction, then the state can actually go forward and implement laws to enact also decrease the differences between the religions.
Preeti, I'll just request you to stay on with us. We want to take in a reaction from the AIUDF as well. We have Aminul Islam now joining us. Good to have you with us here on CNN News 18. Your first reaction to as far as the decision that's been taken on polygamy, the Assam Chief Minister now going forward asking for suggestions from the common people as well.
Yeah, actually the polygamy is a matter in the concurrent list. It is not in the state list. But due to it is the concurrent list, the state cannot decide alone that making any law on it on polygamy. And you see the several article of the Indian Constitution gives the common people to practice their laws, their tradition and everything. But above all, our Chief Minister just to bring this law and bring some suggestions from a committee on polygamy. It is very clear that he is already violating some articles of the Indian Constitution. And it is actually for...
But sir, here the clarification in fact has been given in that same tweet that the Assam Chief Minister has put out. And if you just give me 30 seconds, I would actually like to read that operative part. It actually goes on to say, Articles 25 and 26 of the Constitution provide freedom of conscience and the right to practice religion. However, these rights are not absolute and are subject to public order, morality, health, so on and so forth. It also says, with respect to Islam, the courts have held that having more than one wife is not an essential part of the religion.
Though it is not an essential part of the religion, but But religion it's not an essential part. But practice of the religion, if there is some condition of the next marriage to go on in the polygamy, there is some conditions. If earlier wife is allowed to go on polygamy, then he can go to the polygamy according to Islam. And so some other reasons, there is a leprosy, they cannot produce the children, and he cannot perform the sexual activities. So then he can go to the polygamy. So these some other reasons are also there. So if these are followed by situations are arising and fast wife is allowed, then he
Okay.
can go to polygamy.
Okay. Unfortunately, sir, we'll have to leave that conversation there. Appreciate you joining us here on CNN News 18.